The most proven anti-aging ingredient dermatologists have ever tested costs about $12 at the drugstore. The one being sold to you for $80, with the word regenerative printed across the front, may have almost no evidence it even works through the surface of your skin. That is the strange truth about skincare in 2026. And today we are ranking the 7 ingredients every brand is now calling regenerative by one measure and one measure only, what the published clinical science actually proves. Subscribe before we begin, because number 5 is the ingredient suddenly showing up in serums everywhere, and the real evidence behind it is nothing like the story on the label. We are counting down from the most overhyped bottle on the shelf to the gold standard dermatologists have quietly trusted for more than 40 years. Number 7 is the most hyped ingredient of the year, exosomes. These are tiny vesicles that your skin cells use to send messages to one another, and described that way in a laboratory, they sound almost miraculous. The trouble begins the moment someone puts them in a bottle. A 2025 review in the Journal Clinical Cosmetic and Investigational Dermatology described the topical exosome field as limited by significant differences between products, a lack of standardized production, and genuine manufacturing challenges. In plain language, no two exosome serums are truly alike, and most of the encouraging findings come from narrative reviews and small early studies rather than large controlled trials. A separate review led by the dermatologists Leslie Bauman and Michael Gold was even more direct. In the United States, exosomes are not approved by the FDA, they are permitted for cosmetic use only, and they still require far more clinical validation. You are frequently paying the highest price on the shelf for the least settled science in the room. At number 6, we have the longevity crossover, NAD, and its precursor, NMN. Inside your cells, these molecules genuinely matter, and the wellness industry has fallen completely in love with them. But loving a molecule in a supplement is not the same as proving it does anything useful in a cream. The same dermatology reviews that scrutinized exosomes placed topical NAD and NMN right beside them, as ingredients that target cellular aging in theory, yet still need more comprehensive clinical evidence before the promises hold up. There is a real difference between swallowing a molecule and asking it to travel through the surface of your skin, and that difference has not been resolved. When a brand borrows the excitement around longevity research and prints it across a $40 bottle, that is a marketing decision, not a clinical result. Number 5 is the ingredient you have seen absolutely everywhere lately, pdrn, sold under the much friendlier name salmon DNA. And this is where the story gets genuinely interesting, because pdrn is not a scam. It has a real biological mechanism, and it has real clinical evidence behind it. The catch is how that evidence was collected. Almost every strong study on pdrn for skin used an injection, not a serum. A 2026 review in the journal Cureus found that the human trials supporting it were built around post-procedure recovery and delivery directly into the skin. And even then, the authors flagged small sample sizes, inconsistent formulations, and a shortage of large controlled trials. The clinic-grade results you have heard so much about came from a needle. Whether a fragment of that same molecule can survive inside a topical serum and actually reach the layers of skin that matter is a question the research simply has not answered yet. So when a dropper bottle quietly borrows the reputation of an injectable treatment, that is your moment to be skeptical. At number 4, peptides move us into genuinely promising territory. These are short chains of amino acids that behave like messengers, signaling your skin to produce more collagen and elastane. Signal peptides, such as palmitoyl pentapeptide, have been shown in the published literature to support collagen and elastin production, which makes them potentially effective anti-aging ingredients. Pay close attention to that careful wording because it is the honest version of the story. Peptides show real promise. Their results depend heavily on the specific formula and the concentration inside it, and they still sit one clear step below the ingredients with decades of trials behind them. Promising is not the same as proven, but it is a very long way ahead of pure hype, and that is why peptides earn the middle of this list rather than the bottom. Now we cross into the tier that the evidence truly supports. Number 3 is niacinamide, a form of vitamin B3. A 2023 analysis published in Cureus named niacinamide as one of only a small handful of ingredients with the most evidence-proven results for photoaging, sitting right alongside vitamin C and retinol. It strengthens the skin barrier, it improves uneven tone and fine lines, and it is gentle enough for nearly every skin type, including sensitive skin that cannot tolerate stronger actives. And here is the part the luxury brands would prefer you never noticed. Niacinamide is one of the cheapest active ingredients in all of skincare. You are not paying for something rare or difficult to source. You are paying for a humble molecule that costs almost nothing to produce and genuinely works. At number 2, vitamin C, and this is where the science gets satisfyingly specific. A double-blind, randomized, controlled trial led by the researcher Philippe Humbert found that a 5% vitamin C cream used consistently over 6 months significantly improved the appearance of photo-damaged skin compared with the base cream alone. A separate randomized, placebo-controlled, split-face trial of a stabilized vitamin C derivative showed a measurable reduction in wrinkles around the eyes in just 8 weeks. This is real evidence gathered the proper way, with control groups and blinding built into the design. Vitamin C brightens the skin, it defends against the everyday oxidative damage that ages you, and it supports collagen production. It is not new and it is not exotic, and that is precisely why it works. Which brings us to number 1, the ingredient that quietly outperforms almost everything marketed as a breakthrough. Retinoids, the family that includes retinol, retinaldehyde, and prescription tretinoin. A 2024 paper in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology called tretinoin the topical retinoid with the strongest clinical evidence and the gold standard of anti-aging activity. And the numbers behind that title are concrete rather than vague. In the studies it cited, a low-dose tretinoin regimen reduced wrinkle area by about 11%, while a course of double-conjugated retinoids reduced wrinkles by roughly 14% at 4 weeks, close to 24% at 8 weeks, and 33% by 12 weeks. Decades of controlled research keep pointing in the very same direction. Retinoids work, and they have earned that verdict the hard way. And a basic over-the-counter retinol sits on a drugstore shelf for a small fraction of the price of the exosome serum we started this list with. So here's the pattern, and once you notice it, you cannot unsee it. As you climb toward the ingredients with the most proof, the price tends to fall. The gold standard is cheap, the unproven newcomers are expensive. Regenerative is a beautiful word, but a beautiful word has never once been a clinical trial. Buy the evidence, not the story. And if this changed the way you will read the next label you pick up, subscribe, because next time we are walking into the sunscreen aisle where the gap between what you pay and what you are actually protected against might be the widest one yet.